up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor Dark Joker with this week's video. And this week, I'm going to go to a theory I have about the ISOs in Tron, like how they were created, why they are the way they are, and so the reason why. So I'm going to go over what's known about the ISOs and what I theorize. With all that being said, on with the video. Here's what's known about them. So ISO is short for isomorphic algorithm. And so Kevin Flynn, Tron, and Clue 2 found the first ISO, who was named Ophelia and later became known as Radia, in 1984. Now, Flynn did not make the ISOs. Now, some of their coding does reflect what Flynn coded into the grid, but the rest of it was beyond what he did. Now, and Flynn made the art grid as a haven for ISO separate from the grid. Now that's the art grid's from like a video game or something. I've never played it, and I don't know. And then, of course the art grid exists. That's assuming that game is canon, which I don't know. But if it is canon, basically there's some ISOs that live there now, assuming that grid's still around. Because from what I've seen, there's a whole deal about it possibly being destroyed, and that the programs were trying to stop it from being destroyed. And of course, we know, as seen in Tron Legacy, Tron Uprising, and a bunch of the comics and video games, Clue 2 usurped control of the grid away from Flynn and Tron and instigated the purge, wiping out all ISOs in the grid except for Korra. For my theory regarding the ISOs, I think the ISOs were created by the internet. So the internet's debut was January 1st, 1983, or at least the iteration of it. It wasn't what it is now, like, but like basically a lot of different computer systems were connected together across the world. And like basically I think like all the different grids within the Tron universe, like all the different grids that existed being connected like that causes such an influx of data within each grid that basically it's almost kind of like a Big Bang theory type thing that led to the birth of the ISOs, manifested like a flame. Basically, it was the internet connecting it all, and that led to the conditions, like all the data crossing all the across all the grids, that led to the ISOs just manifesting. And so all the ISOs in other grids, so were born other grids as well. So it's not just the grid that we see in Tron Legacy. So, and the features of them. So, when Flynn described, the ISOs, showing Cora's code to Sam, basically how he wrote some of it, but the rest of it's like beyond him. Basically, because so I think like the features of the ISOs in each grid are they're gonna resemble the grids that they were born in, along with some ISO specific features. So like basically some of the coding will reflect the grid that they were born in, but some of it the coding will also just be an ISO coding. And that's basically how they are like. And so yeah, and basically with the conditions being created over the course of a year, it makes sense. Like the Flynn, Clue, and Tron finding the first ISO a year after the internet debuted. I mean, that is a very odd coincidence. Like, but that's how but I mean, they've never explained how the ISOs came to be, but I think it's due to the internet. And that's it. Did y'all like this video? Did you dislike this video? Do you agree with my theory about with the internet creating the ISOs and how their coding works? Did you like this video? Dislike this video? If you disagree with me, agree with me, and all that stuff, you can put all down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Look forward to the next video.